Ladies and gentlemen, we are standing here with filmmaker John A. Woods. We had to go in the back. It's a little more quiet. We're just heading to church. See the Vancouver Fountain Alliance Church here on Father's Day. Actually, it's kind of later in the day, so we probably missed the service there, John.
Yeah, I think we slept through it, Nick. Yeah, I was all ready to go, but you just kept hitting the snooze button. So. Next week then. But
we were able to make the Car Day Free festival event. I got it kind of wrong. I'm kind of tired because I've just been walking back and forth here on Main Street. It's like over 20-25 blocks. And you were involved with Cinemax booth here at the festival.
Cineworks booth.
Sorry, Cineworks booth. I have a problem with my pronouncing words sometimes. I'm trying to talk real fast.
I'm not surprised after a rough night that you had there.
Oh.
Working to waiting the tables down at the number 5 orange.
The number 5 orange. Yeah, I wish. But the number 5. It's still open, hey?
Yeah, we can go after the interview.
No, because we're going to talk a little bit about your festival that happened down the street from the number 5 last Sunday, Terminal Cinema 2. But John, how was it today? Like getting a chance to engage with some of the people coming to this event. It was huge. A lot of people. Like I said, 20-25 blocks. The place was packed, and I actually missed your booth. I had to walk. I walked down 20 blocks, up 20 blocks, back 20 blocks. And up a quarter of the way through to your booth because I kept missing it. There were so many people there, so many booths. How was it like there, engaging with the people?
Well, actually, Car Free Day is one of the things I think everybody likes about Vancouver. And it's just getting bigger every year. And yeah, actually, it's funny that you missed the booth, but that's actually I think it's a sign of the success of what it is. There's so many people there. It's easy to get overlooked certain booths just because we got people coming in all day. And actually, compared to doing the Terminal Cinema, which is like a film screening that we had, today is more of a chance to just sort of talk to people in the community, let them know what Cineworks is about, what we've got to offer, and just sort of raise our profile since we don't quite have the advertising budget to take out 30-second spots on television or full-page ads in the Sun.
And John, we talked earlier about the success of Terminal Cinema 2. Can you talk a little bit about that? You had the screens down on Main and Alexandra. It was at the name of the venue was?
I was at the Ironworks building. Cineworks actually rents a space in the basement there. So we were using that. We call it the Annex space, and it's sort of a gallery, micro cinema, and also has facilities like a darkroom facility and other filmmaking equipment that are for rent there. It was pretty well. That was a great night actually. We ended up having a complete sellout. It was standing room only. I think we had about 45 people was the head count I got jammed into that little basement. Showed 6 films, all by local filmmakers, and then had the after party, which is probably the most important part of the night.
Yeah.
The films, of course.
Yeah, unfortunately, I missed. I missed both. But maybe it's.
Yes, well, again, that job at the number 5 is conflicting with those evening screenings.
Yeah, I didn't want to lose the job at the number 5. Or get too drunk and thrown in the dunk tank. It's just down there off of Main and not too far from Main and Hastings.
Yeah, well, that's one of the great things about going to see screenings at the Ironworks building is that if you get in trouble, the jail is just down the street. The courthouse is also there, and strip club and pretty much the world's biggest or North America's largest open drug market is also just around the corner on Main. So.
Yeah, I missed out. I've often wondered what the food is like in the drunk. What they call the drunk tank, right? You too drunk, you get.
I don't think they give you any kind of food there. I think maybe like a mop for the vomit if you're lucky.
Oh, but Yeah, I got a chance to come today and see the films that screened last week. Yeah, can you go over the films, John, that screened this year at Tournemont Cinema 3?
Yeah, we had 6 films. Film sort of opened the festival with a little short called Encore by Jason Carmen, which was a sort of experimental dance piece. That was sort of a film exploring repetition of movements through a dancer using multiple exposures. And we also had a film by Chris Brabant. It was an experimental 16mm piece. It was actually a work in progress that he had hand-processed at home that afternoon, and it was literally the first time he was seeing the film himself projected for an audience. And there's also another film called Video Vixens from Beta Galaxy 69 do Los Angeles, which is it's a documentary film, pretty funny. It's sort of like, I would call it Hunter S. Thompson meets Ed Wood, and that was actually made by a local filmmaker who made a film called Video Vixens from Beta Galaxy 69, and it got into a film festival in Los Angeles. So he flew down there to go see the big festival experience, and of course he taped the whole experience, and along the way found that well, it's sort of like the bitter pill of fame, getting your movie in a festival and then having literally no one care. So it's kind of like that. I think maybe a filmmaker's film, and I think anyone or any sort of artist who's actually put a lot of money and time and effort into producing something, and then having such a diminished diminished experience at the actual exhibition.
That was a film by Blair Dykes was involved with that project.
Yes,
right?
that was Blair Dykes as a filmmaker.
Yeah.
And we also had a film by Brian Lai called Lovebirds, which is a pretty successful festival darling, you could say. It was the Sundance Film Festival. It was in the Seattle International Film Festival, Vancouver International Film Festival. Yeah, it's played pretty much everywhere you'd care to mention. Terrific little film, essentially kind of an experimental film, experimental comedy. Basically, it's about 2 birds meet and fall in love, but the birds are played by human actors who, of course, are speaking in birds and wearing feathers, and it's I don't know. It's something you have to see to understand, but very funny film. And there's also, I had a film in the festival, Project Bingo, a documentary film about a father who packed his family up to the Sunshine Coast on a weekend adventure, and he took them to his childhood home to exhume the remains of his favorite pet, a monkey called Bingo. And that was sort of a little comedic slice of life.
Wow.
I think that's all the films. If I've forgotten anyone, I apologize.
I remember for your last film screened at the first Tournemont Cinema a few years ago at Buffalo Farm. You managed to pull a major connection there. Got a score from Black Mountain. So who'd you hook up with this time, John? Lady Hawk, the Japandroids, Delhi to Dublin, the Wailing Jennies.
No, this time I aimed a little more realistically. Last time I was able to get Black Mountain. They're very gracious to give me full permission to use their song. But this time around, I used a local musician, Bill Beattie, who is I don't know, basically call him a street busker guy I met. Just dirty street punk, and he has like a throat of gold and magic fingers, and so he did a nice little acoustic soundtrack. I don't know, since you brought this up, I remember a while back I was trying to get that, other people were talking that too, kind of create that, that bridge, that collaboration between people involved in music and film here in Vancouver, and what's that
I mean, have there? Is that kind of sometimes something you kind of set out to do? Is kind of go out there, and when you're looking for scores, just seek out local, musicians, indie musicians.
I think it goes hand in hand. Music and film are like a natural combination. I mean, at the beginning of cinema, it was like a guy with a piano, and that was the combination. And then, of course, it's progressed quite a bit to now the point that music video is an important part of promoting any musical album in this day and age. So if as an independent filmmaker, just making my own projects by stringing a couple cans together and putting some coins in a coffer. Working with local musicians. I mean, some filmmakers would rather try and get someone maybe more international and famous in, but I kind of generally enjoy and encourage that collaborative process with filmmakers. A film I did last year, Dubio. That one I worked with Alex Zhang, and he's he's better known under the moniker of Dirty Beaches.
Dirty Beaches.
Sort of a I don't like the term, sort of experimental noise artist. Although he's got kind of a rockabilly edge, particularly to his recent works, but very hypnotic, lo-fi sounds. It's like his music is almost like perfect for film.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, a lot of more exposure for the musician. The credits are listed on, at the end of the film, and people can hear their music. But also more experience, and maybe kind of get it out there for musicians. How that's another way to go is scores and film. And I've talked to the musicians who don't have that kind of little tentative to do that because they don't have the experience, and it's totally a different mindset approach. But once people get over that, people in music, it's a lot of creative juices. Really, once they get in that groove, it's really great for their music, for art. John, speaking of collaboration, people here, local film and music, that story. I mean, maybe we can take it further. I come from a small town on the island. I had a pet guinea pig. He died. What if, I can actually kind of, maybe kind of add to the story a little bit. His name was Georgie, and I actually remember where he's buried, and I can go back to my hometown. Actually, go through the process, and try and dig him up and come up with ideas, work on a script. And what do you think? We can work together on this.
Yeah, we could do Project Georgie. That could be the big budget sequel. We make that a feature length one, and it could be about your personal journey to reconnect with your long lost guinea pig.
Yeah, because I'm just thinking about it now. I never had any. I had actually pet hamsters after that, but they also died.
Hamsters are you?
Huh?
You're a Richard Gere fan.
No, I'm not a Richard Gere. Yeah, we won't go there. Poor Georgie. I think he had a heart attack because there was I know I had him in a box in the front yard, and there was my friend had a dog, and I don't know, maybe he died of shock, seen the dog stick his head in the box or something. I don't know.
Stuck his head in a box. Wow, you had a very interesting childhood, I think.
That's why I'm so creepy. Well, maybe that's a good thing in ways, and in some ways it's kind of, well, I don't know. That's another story. But John, if the listeners would like more information on, there is a Facebook group, obviously, for Terminal Cinema 2. They can just Google that on Facebook. But on the films that screened at your festival,
anyone watching can go to terminalcinema.com, and there we have a blog set up, and you can find on there a list of the films that showed and links to the filmmakers' websites for more information on them. And you can also find further information on cineworks.ca, who, of course, were our gracious hosts.
Viewers out there on YouTube, we were just speaking to filmmaker producer John A. Woods. Thanks so much for your time.